Today we have to talk about how Momoshiki actually cursed Boruto and how Boruto's life will be changed from now and further to the future. But first things first, I want to give a huge shout out to my sponsors for this video. And I was actually searching the app store and I actually found an app that actually pays you. And I was lucky enough to get these guys to actually sponsor one of my videos. Now, this app basically reaches out to multiple companies out there, and the companies, they want to know your feedback. And for people to incentivize people to actually do the survey, they actually pay you. I've recently downloaded this app. I filled out a couple surveys, but after my first survey, I actually got over $6, which was like amazing. And after you fill out enough surveys, you actually get to have your payout. It is a very cool app. I really recommend you guys get it if you guys want to make some extra money. The link is going to be in the description below. You can get it in the Play Store, you can get it in the App Store, Apple or Android, but I'll link it down below so you guys don't have to search for it. But without further ado, we're gonna get into the video. Now, first things first, it was actually crazy how much people didn't actually see this, and matter of fact, I kind of agree with people that didn't really see it at first, mainly because I probably watched it like 4 or 5 times already, and I didn't really see it on the first run through, but I knew what I was looking for, so I knew Boruto was gonna end up having it right then and there, and of course, he had it right then and there. Now, it was kind of very slight. You could barely see it, mainly because his whole hand was bruised, and you could barely see that little diamond thing right there, but there it is. There's that diamond. I probably put it in the thumbnail. I have no idea if I did, but you see it right there, and it is absolutely crazy, man, because we're finally getting to catch up to the manga. If you guys have been keeping up with the manga, you guys really know what's going on. You guys know all about the Karma Seal. You guys know about Kawaki, but if you haven't, we are going to finally be catching up to the manga, and the anime is actually rapidly running past the manga. As of right now, of course, we're not there at the manga yet, but it's catching up. In the next episode of Boruto, Boruto's hand won't be as bruised up. I know in the preview we seen Boruto's hand, and they actually had one of the bandages covering that diamond spot, so we didn't actually get to see it in the preview, but I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10 they are going to show us in the next episode of Boruto, and it might even be completely black. I don't really expect Boruto to be showing it off. Obviously, when he did see his eye dojutsu, he wanted to show it off, but I feel like this is going to be something very different. Boruto is a lot more mature. Boruto is probably going to definitely try to be hiding it from Naruto. I made a whole video about Naruto actually finding out how Naruto got his curse mark, things like that, but as I said multiple times, the manga is very different from the anime, so hey, I have no idea. Maybe Boruto actually does show Naruto in the next episode, or maybe Boruto shows Sasuke and doesn't show Naruto. As earlier on though, Boruto is not going to be affected by this curse mark, mainly because Boruto doesn't necessarily know how to use it. I mean, it's still in the manga. Boruto doesn't really know how to use it. Relatively, the manga is not that far away from the anime as of right now, because he's still a genin in the manga as of right now. So in the next, I'd say 50 episodes or so, Boruto is probably not going to really notice it. I feel like it's probably going to be a little bit like the eye dojutsu, and I'll probably get into the eye dojutsu later in this video, but it's probably going to be like that for like the next 50 episodes until he actually meets Kawaki, and Kawaki basically shows him the ropes of the curse mark and things like that. Now, we do know in a mission prior to the Kawaki part, his Karma Seal actually activated, and I personally feel like it's going to activate multiple times before we get to that point. So in the 50 episode span between now and when we actually do get to the Kawaki part, I feel like Boruto's Karma Seal might actually activate a couple of times, mainly because of that, but it won't spread out fully like how we see Kawaki's and Boruto's spread out in the manga or in the first episode in the first minute, mainly because it's relatively new. Boruto still has to get used to it. Obviously, he still has to get used to it in the manga, but still, it's not as mature as we see it in the manga. Now, the way Kawaki uses it, it's like a last resort in terms of Kawaki, and I feel like Boruto is definitely going to have this in his back pocket as well, but I feel like when they get used to it, when they are actually used to it, they will then start using it frequently. Like, it won't be a last resort thing anymore. It'll probably be one of the first things that they use. The reason why as of now it's like a last resort type of thing is mainly because after they use it, or after they finish using it, they basically faint. Like, they faint because of exhaustion. They don't necessarily know how to control the power as of yet, and I feel like as of right now, as I said, it's a last resort, but when they do get used to it, it will be a regular thing. If you guys remember, I'm pointing to this again in the first minute of the first episode. Boruto utilized it as soon as he's seen Kawaki, like it was go time as soon as he's seen Kawaki, so it tells you the comfortability of the Karma Seal right then and there. Now, if you guys haven't been keeping up with the manga, or if you guys want me to refresh you a tiny bit, Boruto's not going to necessarily know how to utilize it until he meets Kawaki, mainly because Kawaki's and Boruto's Karma Seal, they're kind of linked. I don't necessarily want to say they're absolutely linked, mainly because we have no definitive proof, but whenever Kawaki would activate his Karma Seal, we've seen Boruto activate his Karma Seal, so it's pretty much kind of linked, and I really like it. I hope you guys like it as well. One thing I really want to touch on for a tiny bit is Boruto's eye. Now, his dojutsu actually came in the last episode. We have been trying to decode these hieroglyphics of how Boruto's eye comes about. We have no idea. I feel like it comes about when Boruto is in high pressure situations. The two highest pressure situations we've seen Boruto in, you know, minus the Chunin exam, because those weren't necessarily life or death situations, was one in the field trip in the mist, and now this right here, which is the second time versus a godlike opponent. Now, when he fought Shizuma, obviously Shizuma plus Samehada was definitely way above Boruto's skill level, and Boruto probably tapped into something for a tiny bit. Obviously Boruto didn't do it, but his body reacted and it tapped into his dojutsu. And it's the same thing for this situation. Boruto is fighting a very high profile opponent, and Boruto's body immediately taps into his dojutsu. I kind of thought Boruto's dojutsu popped up when he was chakra deficient, when he didn't have a lot of chakra left up in store, but in this episode, or in the past episode, episode 65, Boruto really didn't do much. Like, you could tell Boruto still had relatively a lot of chakra left over that he could possibly use, but his dojutsu just popped out of nowhere. So I'm guessing when he's fighting a high profile opponent, and of course when he is in a daze and he sees Otsutsuki clan members, we've seen him in a daze and he met Tonetti, we've seen him in a daze with Momoshiki, things like that. Obviously that brings out the eye dojutsu. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below, man. How you guys feel about the two main Kekkei of your boy, the god. I'm not gonna call him a boy no more, the god, the deity of Boruto. Make sure you guys at least check out that app in the description below, and also make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe if you want more Boruto content. But it's been your boy Baara, and we out.